Oh, hello everyone and welcome to Ripping, Tearing and Other Activisms, a stream where we invite you to try our Wu-Tang style. How is everyone doing this evening? Ooh. I'm looking forward to playing this game. I haven't played this game in a while. This is one of those games that it was announced and people didn't really like it. There was like an preview of the multiplayer, like the multiplayer component in Rock Paper Shotgun. Nobody really got it. It was weird, and then it came out, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's amazing," and I was like, "Huh?" And then did we get it? I can't even remember when we got it, but we sure did get it, and I completed it in like a day. Or no, not a day, but in like 3 sittings. I just kept playing it and playing it and playing it. Absolutely fantastic video game. So I've been fiddling with the audio mix to see if it works. If it doesn't, that's upsetting, but quite possible. While I was getting some water, we got a 3-month resub. Thank you so much, Bob with 4 eyes, and also thanks for following Valence and Hoplon. This is another PS4 stream, so unfortunately I will not be able to... Oh no wait, I guess this stream deck shows the activity feed now. Oh, the Twitch app doesn't suck anymore. That's nice. That's cool. Oh, just got double send on those notifications. Excellent. But yeah, so this game is really... Oh wow.
He had the remainder of my bits.
Gunrun with the 107 bits cheer. Thanks so much.
Are you playing this on PlayStation?
I super am playing it on the PlayStation. I don't streaming like demanding games from my PC. Like I have to record them on the same PC that's running them. It means that like there are some CPU hitch issues. But so yeah, I'm recording this from my PlayStation. But so, Doom. If anyone hasn't played Doom, it's a sort of, I don't know, I guess it's actually more like a direct sequel to the original Doom. What is super famous? Oh my gosh, an alright cool thing. Is that a follow? Thank you so much for following, if that's you, Squares. If that's not you, then I'm sorry. I'm doing what I can. But yeah, the major problem, the major problem with streaming demanding games from the PlayStation is that the load times are a little long, and also it makes very loud noises.
Brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear until it is done.
Rip and tear until it is done. There's some words we're gonna immediately learn and then continually redefine the meaning of over the next sort of 10 or so hours. But if you thought we were going to be just rushing through this game, you were a fool. Because what we do here on this stream is we take fast games and we slow them all the way down and we try and understand what's cool about them. Goodness, I hope you can hear what I'm saying because it's super loud in my ear. Yeah, so this game starts off like you're surrounded by these surgical tools. There's this open sort of stone plate with a lid that's been taken off, and we get these terrifying no-face creatures that we're going to have to try and deal with. And instead of a cool like shotgun or big meaty weapon or anything, we don't even have a suit at this point. We just have a crappy little pistol. So we're going to do what comes natural and press the shoot button. And you know, we get a headshot, we get a nice explodey head effect, which is cool. We kill enemies by shooting them. That's nice. We don't need to shoot them in the head, but they do tend to explode. if we do, and they can hurt us, which we don't want. Look at that. The gun has a cool animation. This game really likes guns, which is, you know, not unrelatable. Wow, the bits, they just keep coming, I think. Is that what's happening? The Stream Deck is just completely kitted up. Yeah, so already we've learned almost everything that we need to know about Doom. Oh, there we go. The Stream Deck has caught up now. Okay, so knowing almost nothing about the world in which we live. Oh, thank you so much for the bits, everyone. Beppis indeed. Yeah, so having learned all of these things about shooting, we're gonna leave this room and we're gonna meet the first real character of Doom 2016, or at least an image of them.
We have to contain this.
So that was a nice little hologram of the sarcophagus we just got torn out of. Ripped and torn out of, you might say. And clearly whoever that was trying to contain us within it, perhaps. So let's... Well, we're here to Doom, so let's Doom. Now, I sure think I had some kind of fashion images content warning for this stream. Oops, sorry about that. Whoa, this game looks so good. So we get a nice sort of Metroid Prime-esque helmet put on sequence. Thank you everyone for the bits, by the way. Oh, there's a gauge here, I see. Excellent. Bits from Will, bits from Willow, bits from everyone. Lovely.
Until the Resop satellite is brought back online.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Samuel Hayden. I'm the head of this facility.
So this is our second character.
I think we can work together and resolve this problem in a way that benefits us both.
And whoa, that was weird. Not really sure what happened there. But that is a funny setup for something that becomes a pretty comical theme over the course of the rest of Doom, which is the Marine solving problems, or just generally advancing in life by just throwing, punching, or otherwise attempting to damage the things around him. And yeah, that's gonna keep up. A lot of nice decor going on in here. What is it with bases on Mars and like viscera decor, huh? I'm gonna move through this little low visibility passage right here and see a big old glowy friend. So this introduces, I guess, sort of the marquee mechanic of Doom 2016, which is the glory kill, which, if by some miracle you don't know, involves an enemy that has taken a critical amount of damage, is put into a staggered state, which is indicated by that little highlight. And then when they turn orange, you can melee them to just, well, rip and tear them. So, and they'll always drop health when they do this. And this is interesting. This is a very, very small thing, but it's a huge part of the mechanic and the way that the mechanic plays. I'll probably be talking about the ways in which this mechanic, amongst 2 or 3 others, affects the game's design for the next 5 hours, probably. It's really, really smart. But for now, I'm just going to do that. So you may have noticed, if you were paying attention, that we did like 3 or 4 different animations there. And one of the most impressive things about the glory kill mechanic is the way in which they identified this action that they designed the entire game around, and as such, they made it so that not only does each like angle that you can glory kill an enemy from have its own like unique animation in a lot of cases, but also they have unique ones for each enemy and each direction for each enemy, which is really, really, really cool. It creates this like neat little sub-game where doing something that you're going to end up doing lots and lots of times, you can entertain yourself by trying to do it from different angles, trying to activate these unique and fun animations that you enjoy just for the sake of watching them. So, Will is asking why the pistol goes pew and not bang. That is also part of a setup, and it's part of a setup that pays off now. Because the shotgun goes bang. Because this is Doom. The pistol has infinite ammo and does a little, the pistol sucks, basically. But this is on purpose. You can, can you charge the pistol? Huh. Wait, can I? Okay, cool. You could always charge the pistol, fair enough. But yeah, like, the pistol is very much a last resort weapon. It is something for when all your other weapons run out of ammo, which, owing to a mechanic that we're going to investigate in a little bit, shouldn't really happen. It might happen from time to time, but the game has a lot of stopgaps in place. That's a nice bit of environmental storytelling. So the voiceover, I don't know how well you can hear it because I'm not sure how well the actual voice stuff is mixed, but the voiceover just said that demonic presence was at unsafe levels and the lockdown was enacted. Now, that's a funny joke because you hear it and you think any amount of demonic presence is probably an unsafe level, right? There are demons around, but owing to the things that we're going to learn about the UAC station, well, maybe that's not quite how they feel about demonic presence. Anyway, ultimately we're going to have to bring the demonic presence down to safe levels, so let's go do that. Just big old punch them all the time. Another thing that's really smart about Doom, so the jump is really, really good. It doesn't lift you very much. The thing that it mainly does is move you away from the ground to mean that lock you into a velocity. So it means that you can do this thing that I talked about a little bit in my most recent video essay actually, which is this idea of locking in your velocity in a known direction and wheeling around to shoot, which is nice, especially if you're trying to cover a long horizontal aerial distance while shooting. It works really well. The other thing that's really good about the jumping in Doom, and gets a little bit better later on, is this really lightning fast mantling animation, because it means that when you want to ascend, which you can't actually do very well with the jump, you can.
Demonic presence at unsafe levels.
Alright. Let me get this armor. So yeah, this is the first big action set piece of Doom, and it's really interesting the way that it sets itself up, right? So we come in, clearly the demonic presence is at unsafe levels, so we can wander around, get some armor to pay us off for looking around, investigating the level, but clearly we see all of the, death and destruction, but also this thing. And this, what is it even called? I think it has a name. We're going to look at the codex entries, is that what's going to happen? Monsters? Nope. Artifacts? Nope. No? Okay, maybe we'll learn about it. But yeah, basically, quite a lot of the time, in order to keep you in an action stage, these are effectively levels in and of themselves, they'll have one of these things in there, and you'll have to give it a bit of a kill to move on. How do you do that? Easy. Just Just get your hand right in there. Pull a bit of it out. Probably be fine. See? No mantle. It could have happened, so it did.
Demonic presence at unsafe level. Lockdown in effect.
A less generous game might have decided to catch me on that balcony there, rather than allow me to get that glory kill. But it just sort of like fudged the difference and said, you know what? Have it. It was cool.
Demonic presence at unsafe level. Lockdown.
This is something that Doom does pretty consistently. Like, Doom is a game that is very like it's almost like worryingly concerned with flow, and it's flow is actually one of the major reasons we start off fighting against these imps and we have them jumping around this action set piece. It's to get you to follow them with your jump that kind of. It doesn't quite mirror theirs, they can jump a lot higher than you, but it's to get them on the horizontal jumps a lot earlier.
Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged.
Gunrunner's in the chat saying that either I'm alarmingly good at aiming or the console version has very generous auto-aim. It's almost definitely a lot of the latter, although I played about 100 hours of Titanfall 2 on console, so I don't know, I guess I'm at least like vaguely okay at aiming with an analog stick. Probably not that good. Anyway, point is, Doom is good as hell. Hey look,
Cannot be allowed to leave this place.
so
He would ruin everything.
I love ruining everything. Oh, you ready? It's time for the lift. This is one of the best bits of Doom. So, you know, dead guy on lift. Let's just do that. Let's ignore the signs.
I'm willing to take full responsibility for the horrible events of the last 24 hours, but you must understand. Our interest in their world was purely for the betterment of mankind.
Purely for the betterment of
It
mankind.
has clearly gotten out of hand now, yes.
Now it's obviously out of hand.
The risk.
It was worth the risk. Oh, this game's really good. Like, the sound design is just next level, and it's like it's a big deal, right? Because I don't know. I mean, game sound design is like, it feels underused, I guess. Like, there are a lot of games where sound design is not that much thought is put into sound design, and you know, there are a lot of games where a lot of thought is put into sound design. But in this game, like, how you experience sound and the order and, or not, I guess the sequence with which you experience sound is really meticulously thought through, and it really comes through. Like, even just something as, you know, it's cheesy, but this is Doom, so cheese is what we're looking for. Like, timing the like the dropout of the audio track to the Marine punching through that console, and then coming out to the lift, seeing Mars, and like timing the pump of the shotgun to the end of the track. Oof. It works so well. It gets you immediately fully emotionally invested. I love this game. So now that we've had all of the sort of the excitement of that, I guess, that action stage in there, we get a little bit of a slowdown, a little bit of a dip in the engagement curve, just to let us cool off and drink in this lovely Mars design that they've made for us, and it really is lovely, really pretty. Like it's it's very orange, but I think it looks good. It works, especially with the aesthetic contrasts that this game is going to go on to set up. It works. I like it. Impact compensation. Nice little touch there. There's not going to be any full damage. You'll be fine. The suit's got you. The developers have got you. So, for anyone who doesn't know, this game has a sort of non-negligible amount of farting around trying to find collectibles. Don't know how much of that I want to include on the stream. I'm kind of concerned that it might mean that we finish in like 3 or 4 episodes, but it's just not very dynamic. It sort of plays to a part of the game that I don't think is very good. We'll see, I guess. Maybe if I'm fixing for something to do, I can do a suit collectibles stream, I don't know. But yeah, so clearly the demons are not confined to the lab, because there's a hell of a lot going on out here. So yeah, I think we're going to do this action state down here, and then maybe talk a little bit more about video game. Ooh, that was a huge error. Huge unforced error. Ooh. Come on. Oh, jeez. Oh. Okay. Maybe don't stand by the explosive barrel next time. Alright, let's try again, shall we? Well, you get pumped every time, hella. Love that pump. One thing I noticed when I fired up the PlayStation to do some exploratory sound mixing was I'd forgotten they had added an arcade mode to this game. It owns. I love it. Maybe I'll do some streams of me just grinding out arcade mode. Maybe that'll be fun. It probably won't, but I like the idea. But so yeah, like one of the most impressive things that this game does, and the glory kills are a part of it, is it took a genre that for, you know, a long time by that point, like sort of many years, had been very static, like shooters had been in cover for a really long time in service to things like realism and stuff. Even though, like, functionally the most effective way to play them wasn't necessarily to use cover that much, like, nevertheless that was, I guess, how they were designed. Whereas this is very dynamic. Even just the way that this space is designed doesn't really, and the, like, all of the walls are at or above the height of your gun, right? You can't really hide behind this. You have to stand on top of it or either side of it. And so it just kind of funnels you to move forwards through these spaces. It's really, really good because it means that the game is very, well, the game is very dynamic. It means that you snap forwards through everything in a very natural way. You're never like, because in games that are very, I guess, games that are siloed into things like cover, and they're still laser focused in other ways, but it means that if you try to play them in this, this engaging and hair trigger reaction kind of way, you end up running up against walls, you get caught on stuff. Whereas this level is kind of designed as a series of, it's a series of circles really. It doesn't really end anywhere, you can always just move forwards or turn slightly left or slightly right and hey, there's another avenue, It's like a whirlwind of gun. You can mix it up with some jumps. It's really cool. I like it a lot. So, yeah. What was I going to say? I thought I was going to say something else. Oh, yeah. So, one thing I'm going to sort of talk a little bit about before I get into the next big, loud shooty gun bit where I don't talk while I focus on doing the shooty gun, was I was going to talk about why I chose this game. So, I was looking for a game to stream to follow up on Bloodborne, which, as you all know, is a game that I had a lot of feelings about, a lot of opinions about, and a lot of time to talk about, right? Like, I enjoy that game, I enjoy playing it, I enjoy thinking about it, I enjoy talking about it. And I enjoy talking about it in terms of its design, its mechanical design, and its narrative design, and the way in which those two things interlock. And I got a lot of messages from people who said that they really liked those streams, which was really nice to hear. But I also got a lot of messages saying, it interests me how, people were saying to me that it interested them how I came to those conclusions about Bloodborne, how I began to think about games in the way that I ultimately do about Bloodborne. And that interested me, because it's not something that I have, it's not something I've spent too much time interrogating. It just kind of came from playing games for a really long time. So one of the reasons I put Doom on this poll of games to play was that Doom is a game that, it is mechanically deep, it's fun, I like it, I can talk about it enthusiastically, but also is a game that has, like Bloodborne, very clear and sort of, I guess, uncomplicated narrative themes. But unlike Bloodborne, it doesn't really make any effort to hide them, I guess. I mean, I guess I was never really saying that Bloodborne hid them, but basically, it's easy to see the ways in which Doom sort of tries to grapple with the ideas that its narrative is trying to engage with. So that's one of the reasons that I sort of thought, let's play Doom, because it's cool, I like it, and it has less a big textured mess of ideas and influences, and more one big angry idea that is at the heart of actually a lot of different media, but in a neat way. This is cool. You just see that tiny little hole. And there's that up there. So yeah, this is, I think, the beginning of Doom's collectible stuff. You can grab fun little figurines, which I thought was cool. They play the Doom theme, which is nice. But also, this is a blue key card, okay. This is not actually the kind of collectible I thought it was. This is just your necessary find the blue key joke, which is something that Doom kind of forever burned into the hearts and minds of #gamers everywhere. You just have to find coloured keys now, so it makes sense that you'd have to do it in Doom. So time for another action stage. Got some grenades. What's the tutorial? Can get some hell grenades. Lol. Alright, cool, whatever. Oh wait, look, it's loads of enemies. That's the fun thing about grenades, is unlike every other shooter that you would probably have played around this kind of time, pressing grenade just throws the grenade. There's no attempt to cook the grenade or anything, it's just like, nope, grenade go now. So, that's neat. It emphasizes the sort of hair trigger way that combat works in this game. Some nice Mars mining machines. The art design in this game is very, very good. It starts with just the Mars mining machines and then gets a lot more intricate over time in ways that I think you'll enjoy seeing. What up? Just crush someone to death with their own arm. What up? Ugh. We'll go down there in a minute. First we're going to go over here. Because I believe there is some loot. No? Maybe? You dispatch enemy dudes with such velocity in this game. It's so satisfying. Right, I got a map. I'm probably not going to use it, but I got a map. There's definitely one of those upgrades around here somewhere, right? Oh, here we go. So yeah, collectibles. You find other people with armor suits that are kind of like yours. So you get the chips out. I don't... You need to acquire weapons to get these things. I don't want to do this now, I'll do it later. Whatever. So, yeah. This is neat, how they just kind of... this is clearly between big action set pieces, so they just kind of litter the ground with these basic enemies. And you don't really have to do anything with them, like they don't really threaten you in any meaningful way, they just kind of wander towards you. So, I mean, you can ignore them, or you can just fucking kick shit out of them, which is fun, so why not? Did I just lose all my armor? That's quite funny. I deserve that. Oh, okay, I'm being attacked from elsewhere? Oh yeah, worms. What up? Is this... Okay, no, this is not where I came from. I could probably work that out if I use the map. Looking at map screens is boring, so I'm not going to do it just yet. Give me that armor. Give me that. Is that grenades? Yes. Mantle. Ah, there you go. That's the upgrade I was looking for. So, we can either fire in triple bursts of shotgun, or we can fire explosive shotgun. Now, I was half tempted to just like, because you can, well, you can choose like, you basically locks down these upgrade paths once you pick one, right? So, and there, for every weapon there is one of these two upgrades that you can pick, generally speaking. I was kind of hoping that I would pick all the ones I didn't use the first time I played through this game. So I think I am going to do that in this case. Because... Doom punch drone. Why so mean to drone? Drone only want love. Doom marine mean. Look for some more bullets before I continue, I think. So yeah, now we can fire in a 3-shot burst, which is neat. Why shoot once when you can in fact shoot 3 times? It's a lot. Do you know this game needs a wall run? Can't get up there. Okay. Come on. Yeah. Ooh, can't go up there. Where you at? You. Ow! Rude. Ooh. Tactile. Feels good. It just feels good to, you know, effectively just click on Demon, but Demon also go bang when you do it, so feels really good. Like a lot of work has gone into the kinetics of that animation, and it feels really good. Like it terminates your velocity in a really satisfying way, so you feel like you've imparted all of your velocity into exploding that. Okay. Get some bullet. I like those. Get some armor. I like those too. Oh, a log. Don't care. Alright. Note to self, there are bullets here. Completely missed. That was funny. Whoa. Oh, the sweet one is really good. Am I getting owned? I think I might be getting owned. Who is shoot at me? Whomst. Anyone who was watching at the very, very beginning of the stream will have noticed that I selected ultra-violence difficulty for my playthrough of Doom 2016. 2 reasons for this. It's the reason that I did my original single-player playthrough on, and 2, I wanted to play a difficulty in which I would lose a lot of health regularly, because it helps me make a point that I wanted to make about glory kills, and as a result, the game's entire mechanical design, which are that glory kills. So you have this mechanic, right, where you have guns. Guns work at range. You shoot things from a long, long way away. Like someone over there, I could shoot them. But what that happens is it activates a stagger on them, which I can only pop from a very, very close range. Now, how do you make players want to overcome that? Like, how do you make players want to overcome that range gap? Well, one of the solutions that the Doom team came up with is to reward the players with health for doing it, right? And what that does is it's not just like a sort of, I guess, carrot stick thing, right? Because it doesn't just mean that we get to use this mechanic, which once we use, we realize is, pretty cool. It is also like it solves a pretty major problem that multiple people describe when playing contemporary first-person shooters, which is that when you take significant damage, like, the thing to do is to run away, is to hide in the corner and, generally speaking, wait for your health to regenerate. Because if you go to where the enemies are, you'll get killed. Oh, speaking of which. So, if we make it so that the game assures you right at the beginning, you'll always receive health for glory killing enemies, that's interesting. That's immediately it turns every combat encounter, every micro combat encounter in the game into a tiny risk reward, where you can, you can bank the small amount of health that you have now on a risky approach to glory kill, try and get more health later. It's neat. It's very smart. If you have ever really hated waiting in cover for your health to recharge, Doom is a game that you might enjoy. Oh, and we're out of bullets, just like I said wouldn't happen. We're going to see if there are any elsewhere, because I don't want to fight with a pistol, because it sucks. Here we go. I was right. Bullets. I love them. Love a good bullet. What up? Neat little thing I just remembered, or indeed just noticed, is that if you stagger the imps while they're sort of charging or throwing a fireball, they'll miss. But they'll convincingly just throw it into a wall, like, oh damn, I missed. It's neat. It's a nice little visual indicator that you should get stuck in. Ugh. Oh, standing near a barrel again. Sweep one is so good. Ow. Hello. Come on. Okay. Still down there. Is that some... There we go. And you see how, like, apart from, like, one or two minor hiccups with sort of some little platforming issues, like, navigating that space just happened. I just moved forward. Or backward, if I like felt like retreating. But the consequence of designing these areas in this circular way that they always do, like, again, look at this. I just walk forwards, and I end up, like, I didn't even know that that enemy was there, but I just ended up at action. I just go where you go, and stuff happened to me. And, like, it means that you never end up retreating in this game. It means that going backwards is actually ultimately just ambushing the enemy that you're running away from. It means that, combat is never static when it shouldn't be. It's always like, it means that if you genuinely do want to run away from an encounter, you're kind of shit out of luck. But I think it's really, really good. So, yeah, can I, oh, okay, cool. So a consequence of designing the spaces as tightly as they have is that occasionally there are limits, sometimes you see, oh, maybe I can jump on that, and you can't, and that's kind of tedious. I think there's some collectible here, maybe I'm just imagining that. Oh no, there's some nice little reward. Nice. Payoff. Okay, so yeah, I think this might be the first level, maybe? Oh, we got a little bit more.
Welcome to the UAC. Now 221 accident-free days.
221 accident-free days. Nice.
God rested on the seventh day. But imagine how much further along we would be if we hadn't. The UAC is committed to excellence. That's why we implemented a 7-day work week. Now you can achieve greatness alongside your coworkers every day. Let's never stop achieving.
So, some subtle points being made there by the strange hologram.
Welcome to the UAC. Now 221 accident-free days.
It is let me tell you, it is not by accident that the UAC hologram decides to make the points. There have been no accidents when clearly they have. And also that you should never stop working, that you should never rest, and that never resting means that eventually we will all benefit from you never resting. It's not by accident that he makes those 2 points within seconds of one another. Combat and challenges both unavailable. Rats. This is weird. The new Twitch app says that the new Twitch app has got all of these nice details in it of who's done what and stuff, but it also just drops out loads. Like it says the stream chat's not live, and it will just refresh it every like 5 minutes, and I'll get a load of messages that I've missed, which means I can't get those hashtag interactions that I want. Disappointing. Some sparks.
Hello, I am Vega.
Vega?
Sentient intelligence assigned to Mars. After running
Oh, you
diagnostics
claw
on the
dictator.
dictator, it appears that I can activate optional challenges that, when completed, will assist in upgrading your arsenal at an accelerated pace. I have added a tracking component to your dossier.
So this is another thing to keep combat fresh during the actually not small length of this game. The game adds like fun little achievements basically, because people love achievements, and you know I don't hate achievements, especially achievements that are integrated into a game. That's cool. It's kind of weird, but it's cool. So chat is talking about, well, at some point chat was talking about, I don't know what they're talking about now, the various upgrade systems that we just interfaced with, and yeah, we totally did. So we got the Prayer to Suit upgrade token, which is bad. I don't like it, and chat seems to agree. It's just like, it really is just RPG elements. It doesn't really, it doesn't do anything. It gives you, so what does it do? Improves equipment capacity and recharge time. And I mean, I guess like if you are invested in any one of these systems, like there's the one that helps you, the upgrade that helps you find upgrades, which is like, ugh. And like, if you're invested in any one of these systems, I guess it is satisfying for you to like invest in it, but it seems largely illusory to me. However, we can compare and contrast that with the weapon upgrade system. Now, I talked a little bit about how much I dislike leveling systems in the Bloodborne playthrough,
Offline.
and
All entrances non-operational.
all entrances non-operational. Like, yeah, the weapon upgrade system in Doom is the perfect example of the kind of meaningful progressive decision making I enjoy in video games, which is that you get offered, instead of the opportunity to pour volumes of experience into your gun over time, or your body, or your skills, or whatever, you get offered a small number of meaningful and interesting decision points. And like, this is not practical in every example. For like, you know, just as a sort of trivial example, you can say that like, well, you would not get the same feeling of, you know, progression and ultimately superiority that you get in Bloodborne if you never leveled up, and that is true. We can go this way first. Like, there are definitely examples where it like wouldn't really work, but ultimately like I still really like this, especially for this kind of game where we completed a challenge with Ray. So that's very invasive. I'm gonna do that later.
Main tower offline. All entrances non-operational.
Reroute some power.
Main tower online.
I believe in honesty, especially now, in what will be your final moments in this world. All the rumors, the human sacrifices, the hell portal, the demons. It's all true. My sisters and brothers, be thankful. You will be the first. You will have a seat alongside them, just as I will, in what will become the new world that they create for us. Starting now.
So what Pound Shop Tilda Swinton is trying to say is that hell is on Earth right now. As if, you know, that wasn't obvious. But she's, you know, we're getting some talking to and conversations with her.
I believe in honesty.
Oh, she's just going to repeat that, so
especially
we're
now.
going to get this map. And yeah, like, so we're just getting the setup that she's obviously the, you know, being portrayed as the villain, which is, you know, pretty unambiguous. You're not gonna. I mean, we talked a bit about in Bloodborne the levels of. I don't know if I'd necessarily say moral complexity, but at least like texture to the like. In Bloodborne, people are capable of lying to you, right? To like you as a person. In this game, not so much. Like characters will, you know, try and mislead you, but actually, ultimately, we'll see that it doesn't really work. Like, and you know, narratively, it doesn't really work in a way that is quite funny. But for now, we're just going to stick to the sort of very basic setup that we've got right now. No, there we go. Oh. Context-sensitive glory kills. See? The game continues to find ways to surprise you about this kind of thing. It's great.
My sisters and brothers, be thankful.
We are gonna go in here. Grab some bullets. Oh yeah. So, this is neat. Explosive enemy. Well, what do? Oh hey, glory kill. Oh, you kick them into all, they explode. So, if I'd not done that terribly, what would happen was... Oh, there's an imp out there, what the heck? Yeah, so if I'd not done that terribly, basically there's this little neat thing where you stagger this enemy, you instinctively glory kill them, you kick them into the wall, and they explode because they're an explosive enemy. It's funny. I like it a lot. Teaches you, like, in the space of like seconds, it teaches you a neat little thing that you, and it does it using mechanics that you've come to implicitly understand by this point. I really like it. This is a weird thing. This level, and I guess maybe the rest of the game, I don't actually remember too much about the rest of the game, but this level is full of these doors that look closed until you go over to them and you have to pry them open with your big beefy arms. But then it has these doors, which look kind of exactly the same, but open by themselves. Like, it's very strange. Ow! That's a lot of damage.
Demonic presence at unsafe
Okay, it's time for another action sequence. Oh, jeez. Like this. There we go. We missed, but they do explode. Oh. Very generous explosions. Ah, jeez. So, originally when I played this game, chat was talking about thinking that triple shot was useless. Originally when I played this game, explosive shot seemed like the obvious choice to me too, but actually I'm kind of warming to it as a design. Like, explosive shot only costs 1 and it does explode, but it actually doesn't really do very much damage. Whereas, like, the triple shot really is just 3 shotgun shots, and like, I kind of like that from a readability standpoint. And it feels like a choice whether to do this. Whereas the only thing that you're really investing in the explosive shot is the charge time, which I don't know. They have different feels to them, I guess. But yeah, that's this action stage done. See again, like I went instinctively to pull that door with the melee button. Didn't need to. Weird. And what's this I have in my hands? So the chainsaw completes, if you will, the loop established by the mechanics that we've talked about so far. So is this just healing? Yeah. Yeah. So we have a chainsaw. It has 3 ammo. We can rev it, and so we have our gun, right? We have our gun, and our gun, let's go through here and demonstrate what I'm talking about. We have our gun, we shoot man, or demon I guess. We glory kill demon. Demon gives out mostly health. So what we've done is we've lost bullets, and we've gained health. So eventually we run out of bullets, right? I mean the enemies drop bullets a lot of the time, but like we've seen, not all of the time. So we need to find a way to get bullets. So how get bullet? Easy. Chainsaw demon in half. Demon full of bullet. Spend bullet, get health. Spend fuel, get bullet. The hidden wrinkle to this is that chainsaw fuel is kind of sort of like ammo, but usually you're fine. Because really you weren't running out of bullets all that much anyway, because they're kind of everywhere. So usually you're fine. And it's not like, it's not a complete perfect loop, but it works well enough that it means the flow of the game is just really, really good. Oh yeah, I can't double jump, can I? Weak. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go through here, get some chainsaw fuel. What the heck? What kind of game is this? What kind of Mars hell base is this where you have to press buttons to fucking... where a fully power armored man can't fucking stand in the air vents. What the hell? Oh jeez, we died there. Paunch. There's a lot of them in there, huh? Ugh. How about...
Access denied.
Ugh.
Yellow security clearance required.
Where's that yellow key at? It's over here, isn't it? Hello. Rude. Coming to say hello. See again, we get our demonic presence at unsafe levels warning, which is going to, that's what's called the gore nest. It's going to remind us that we've got to kill that gore nest. We can't just kill all of these possessed scientists. There's some gore nesting. We need to deal with it. Ow, rude. And this again is a nice little loop, You sort of go through these more, I guess, transitional action sequences, and then you find one with a big old gore nest, and you go, right, now we're ready. Time for battle. Well, we got some good music now. So yeah, when I said the sound design was good, I didn't just mean the like the sequencing and, you know, also the music fucking slays. If you've never seen it, I absolutely recommend that you go online right now and find, I think it's at the Game Awards last year, Mick Gordon performing the soundtrack to this game. Like, he's having such a good time. It's very, very satisfying to watch. Hey, get back here. There we go. See, sometimes you don't even get a full animation. Sometimes it's just like, oh, the enemy just explodes like a pinata of bullets. Oh no. On me.
Demonic presence eliminated. Lockdown disengaged.
See, look at that. Good as hell. Good as hell. Yeah, we're still following that yellow key phantom that we didn't actually activate in the first place, but here it is. Wraths is in the chat asking why there was a chainsaw on Mars in the first place, whether there was some Martian logging going on. And I think was it Doom 1 or 2 that just was on Mars? Like maybe the Marine just left it here. Oh, can we get both? I didn't know we could get both. I see. Well, I mean, I'm not going to waste this, am I? Can I come back? Like, can I get another weapon in this level and come back? Anyone in the chat who... Wait. There must be another weapon in here. I'm sure that we get, like, the pulse rifle here or something. Someone in chat who knows, tell me whether I can use this drone again later. What up? Oh, guess we're going through there rather than meleeing that guy. Ah, jeez. Something I really like about this game, like I really like about the design of the glory kills is it, like, even at this reasonably, like, medium high difficulty where you, like, lose a quarter of your health in engagements with these, you know, basic possessed enemies, like, it's still, oh, do you know, I'm just gonna grab this. I'll grab it now, like, whatever, it's not like we're gonna be stuck for upgrades at some point. Get out of here. I'm not gonna use it. Can I change? There we go. Swap active mod. Ka-ching. Yeah, thanks. So yeah, it helps you to really communicate it helps really communicate to the player how above the possessed scientists the Marine is, like, independent of player skill. Like, I lost quite a lot of health as I did it, but you really can just wade in there and basically just wave your arms around, and the you know, possessed scientists will just peel apart. It's really neat. I'm gonna go back through here. Yeah. Now that we have the yellow key, we can get through here, I guess.
Access granted.
Yeah.
Welcome to the UAC's Mars installation, located in the vast Hellas Plain impact basin.
There's that
This
rifle.
high-tech mining and research facility is pushing the boundaries of the imagination each and every day. As a valiant employee, your loyalty is more than just a commitment to the UAC. It's a commitment to the future of mankind. Thank you for your service. All UAC employees are subject to regular mentions to achieve.
There's a lot of stuff we didn't get over that way, isn't there? Does the yellow... Hang on. Does the yellow key give us access to that security office? I'm going to go and have a look. Just a brief look. Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Access granted.
Stuff. Open door. Can get through there now. Couldn't before. Ugh. Yeah, you go. Oh, get over it. Get one of these. Nothing down here. Just yeah, body disintegrating. So yeah, this part of Doom, the sort of weird Metroid Prime-y bit, not so into. There we go. This is that rifle. Oh hey, we unlocked dexterity because now we have 4 weapons. Cool. Does that let us jump better? I think I might actually get those ones now if we have them by now. Affects the speed of certain actions. Switch weapons faster, grab ledges faster, and swap weapon mods faster. Those sound boring. They're all boring. But none of them are quite as boring as take less damage. Yeah, immune to explosive barrel damage is pretty cool, I guess. So, Friendo is aghast at me saying what I said about Metroid Prime. Let me clarify what I mean about Metroid Prime. I'm not super into Doom trying to do the Metroid Prime thing because I think it is just a worse Metroid Prime when it is doing those things. I love Metroid Prime. I think that game is really, really good. I do not think this game is really, really good when it is trying to be the same game because, as I've already spoken about at some length and will speak at some more length, my favourite thing for Doom to do is to just have me fucking run towards and smashing hell demons. Oh, those are locked. Love to smash a hell demon. So, we still can't get through here? Do we need double jump to get through here, maybe? I promise I will stop both complaining about and doing the Metroid Prime stuff. I will either do it and not complain about it or not do it. What does the map say? Nothing helpful. This is a bad map. I don't like this map. Or do we need to like... we need to have been there from... You know what? I'm done with this. Let's leave.
Welcome to the UAC's Mars installation.
So I managed to get 2 weapons without really talking about them, huh? So
This high-tech mining
we started with this pistol, right? It's boring, it shoots. And immediately we upgrade to this shotgun, which is cool as hell. It punch. Games with good shotguns are really, really good. We love games with shotguns. But, so the next 2 guns we unlock are heavy assault rifle, which is, well, it's a heavy assault rifle. It's like, it shoots big punchy bullets. Like that is like about as thick as a bullet can get while still firing this quickly, right? And it's basically like a strict upgrade on our pistol, which is like purpose designed to feel ineffective, whereas the heavy assault rifle is like blam. Feels good. When you pop heads with, that sounds really bad. When you like score sick headshots with this thing, it feels good. And then we have, did I not? Then you have the plasma rifle, which is did I close this door just now? What's going on? It said open airlock. Okay, whatever. So this gun is like the opposite of that, but in a sort of a neat dynamic way, right? Like, so instead of being single big punchy shots, it fires these little blobs of plasma, such that a sustained burst of it feels like this, which is like, already you fired like 10 shots before you even realize your fingers on the trigger. But I guess they're opposite ends of like a neat spectrum of weapon designs, right? Like you can either have and they're both satisfying to use, because pouring a large amount of small projectiles into this enemy feels good in a different way to a smaller amount of big ones. Plus they have neat upgrade trees. Oh hey, did you like glory kills? Because we sure got them. This is such a good power up. This is genius. I love that they put this here. Oh Jesus! That was close. They didn't need to do that, but they did. There's a power up that just means that your attack button is now an instant kill glory kill. Like, awesome. Glory kill whatever the hell you damn please. Nope. Heck. Died. Makes sense. Whomst among us challenges the Doom Marine. Oh, hey, it's you. What up? So, yeah. Doom. It's good. I like it. I like it a lot. Gunrun is asking me whether I'll be doing the secret levels. Are you talking about the Doom 1 levels that they hid in this game? Because I don't think I ever actually found any of those while I was playing through it by myself. Are they good? Is that fun? Should I seek out the Doom 1 levels, chat? Guide me. Look at Mars. Mars is good. It's cool. Like, that is such a good choice. It's so subtle, but in a kind of, I guess, unsubtle kind of way. Like, you emerge on Mars and you have all this, like, sort of Mass Effect-y, Halo-y, here is what space future tech looks like. It may be covered in blood, but... And then you look over on the horizon and you have, you know, yet more mining stuff, your rock peaks, and then that stuff. And that stuff is like, is a big deal on the horizon, right? That's sort of like arcane and I guess sort of not holy, but like, I don't know. But it's like, it's such a, it makes you uneasy in a very gentle way compared to the rest of this stuff, in a way that I like a lot. It doesn't fit with everything that you've only just become accustomed to. It's really cool. Alright, we're going to climb because that is my want, and look, that's where we're going to climb to. Ugh. I love mantling, which is, I'm not used to loving mantling. Hang on. Let me, why are you not weird? Is that? Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. Anyway. We're gonna go through the front door like losers. Gunrunner's in the chat asking me which level this is. I believe this is... in fact, I have no idea. Mission. No. Nope, no idea. So Reth's is talking about some interesting ways in which this, sorry, Reth's in the chat is talking about some interesting ways in which this game like communicates the, I guess the, in many ways the myth of the Doom Marine, and like I think that's the thing that this game plays with in a really interesting way. But one of the things that they're saying that I wanted to touch on is that they're talking about how this game communicates the rage of the Marine by making doing things like making the default interaction button the melee button. So if you ever miss interacting with anything, you just furiously punch it. And that other thing that I was talking about, where we see that in like the POV cutscenes of this game, the Doom Marine interacts with problems mostly by trying to tear them in half or punch them or whatever. And another thing they're saying is that something this game could have used is enemies that run away from you in fear, like the grunts do in Halo, and that's an interesting point. But I think it is something that it's a narrative space that the game does explore, it in a way in which you don't really see until you get to Hell for the first time. So I guess I'll talk about it when I get there, which is fairly soon, medium soon. Anyway. Rare example of Doom Marine fixing something.
I'm blocking your access to the facility scanner. Come to the Vega terminal, and I'll give you what you need.
Notice he'll give us what we need, not what we want. How do we... I feel like I missed something. Yeah. Because as will gradually become clear, all the Doom guy really wants is to kill every last motherfucker in hell. But, as we will gradually find, Samuel Hayden does not want this. Which I think is a bit controversial stance, really. Slow down weapon wheel, great idea. Every game should have that. Oh, right, of course, here. Doi. Don't even need to take the lift. The whole time. Is there anything actually up here, though? No. Cool. Look at that. Whoa. Nice level. Nice. Ooh. Impact compensation. It's nice. Kind of slaps you on the wrist for falling too far while telling you, yeah, not going to get punished. You'll be fine. Anyway. Get out of here. That was weird. That was like we weren't going to grab. Mantle! Mantle! Love it. Remember when vaulting was super new in first-person shooters? What was the first first-person shooter I remember vaulting in? Maybe like Battlefield Bad Company 1? I can't remember. Now it's every heckin' where. Can't move for tasty vault animations. Wanna do that? You not. Whoa. Whoa there. There we go. That was weird. Anyway. Stream Deck is vibrating, that's not good. That means people want my attention. My attention's so focused right now. Gun? Oh hey, more rifle. Ah, jeez. Stop paying attention. Silly me. Oh, I died. Gourd. It happens. Let's try that again, shall we? Points and tokens available. Trinkets and shiny objects. You have them. Ow. Die. Another really nice thing. Talks about how Bloodborne tacitly encourages you to just keep whacking. Everything will be okay. There's another game that does that. Without. If you punch an enemy for long enough, they'll probably hit that glory kill threshold. Probably. It'll be fine. What else? Ooh, that's a big cooldown. Right, the shield does pop eventually. I didn't remember that. Explode. Explode. Oh, that was bad one. It just feels really good, folks. So Rat is in the chat asking me if I've played Nier Automata. I haven't. I wish I had. I would like to play that game. It looks cool as heck. So Dead Isaac Clarke there. Weird. Oh right, it's the Vega terminal. I see. Oh yeah.
It's a gift. Take it. It will give you strength, help you on your journey, if you can withstand the power surge.
So Samuel Hayden is going to give us, as reward for agreeing with him, another tedious gameplay mechanic, as if to even more concretely signify him as maybe not a particularly trustworthy character. Love numerical stat upgrades. Just bullet.
That is pure Argent energy you've just taken into your system. It seems to agree with you. I will unlock the remaining Argent cells within the facility for you. Vega, give him what he wants.
61,337 UAC members deceased. 81% of the facility is on lockdown. Demonic presence through the Mars installation is critical. According to the records, Dr. Hayden, the invasion originated in the Lazarus facility. It seems that a hell wave was activated, transforming 64% of all UAC employees into the creatures you see roaming throughout the facility. The rest were killed by the demons released from their holding cells by Olivia Pierce.
I feel I should apologize for what's happened here. Some of my employees took things too far. Olivia was the cause of all this, and I believe you will have to deal with her in time. You may not agree with our research, but know this. We exploited hell and its resources because it was in mankind's best interest to do so. What you now see in this facility is the cost of progress. But none of that matters now.
There is an emergency in the foundry. The regulators have been destroyed and the core temperatures are now destabilizing.
They've overrun the adjacent facility. If the venting turbines aren't re-engaged, neither of us will survive the meltdown.
So, a lot going on there. We basically hear that Samuel Hayden, who we have been, you know, hinted at so far, but we're now absolutely sure is a big old robot man. It's a neat little thing. Actually, I'm going to see if it's in the database because it's funny. No, nothing. Okay, well, it'll come up. We'll find a log entry on Samuel Hayden at some point, and it's funny, so I'm gonna look out for it. But yeah, Samuel Hayden's a robot CEO, and he points to this picture that tells us pretty categorically that everyone who worked for him died, and he was like, it was worth it. You may not agree, but we did it because it was in the best interests of mankind. Although clearly not in the immediate best interest of literally anyone who worked here, because they're all dead. And that the game chooses to show you this from the mouth of, what, the robot mouth of Samuel Hayden, who is not only categorically not dead from hell, but also, like, literally doesn't have any skin in the game. Like, how could you have an even more you know, blatant example of a tech CEO who is kind of just could not possibly be harmed by any of the quote-unquote transgressive research they're doing than by making them literally having transcended their physical body, while everyone else is still farting around with their, you know, flesh husks. Makes an interesting parallel with the character design of Olivia Pierce, who we clearly saw was not 100% person, but also maybe not 0% person. Interesting interstitial step there between her and Samuel Hayden, who is sitting there telling us how worth it is that everyone but him died. And the emerging relationship, shall we say, between Samuel Hayden and the Marine is one that I really like. We'll get some exploration over the next few hours. For now, we're going to go and do exactly what he says. You just give me a checkpoint like 8 seconds before the level ended. Rude. So, Reth is in the chat talking about how Samuel Hayden transferred his mind from a human body into a machine. Yes, exactly. That's my point. The implications of transferring the mind into a machine is like, I guess it's like, the game visually invites us to consider what the differences are between Hayden and everyone who works for it, because like all of the imagery that the game is asking us to ponder, like all of these decorations of corpses and bones, all this blood everywhere. Hayden doesn't have any of that. Hayden's just a robot, or, you know, a human mind in a mechanical exoskeleton. And it's, you know, it's purposeful that the game chose that environment for Hayden's character, I guess. So I'm not sure how long this level is. I feel like it might be quite long, so I'm gonna do at least another sort of 20 minutes, half an hour of this level, and if we get to like a sort of reasonable conclusion point in the next 20 minutes, I will call it. But for now, let's do some more shooty bang.
After running more diagnostics on the active Praetor suit, it appears that I can accelerate the upgrading of your arsenal by measuring your combat effectiveness. I have added a tracker to your helmet's display.
Yeah, thanks.
The facility will not allow you access to the turbine room unless the demonic threat level is brought down inside the foundry. Our security systems cannot be overridden.
Let's destroy some gore nests. Hella weird. Ta-da! It's a foundry. I like foundries. Ever since I watched Attack of the Clones, I've really liked foundries. That was a big bang. Ooh, PlayStation is not enjoying rendering this. And, you know, fair enough, I guess. It's a big space.
Warning, core temperature rising.
Russ has pointed out in the chat that there is indeed an Easter egg in this level if you die by falling into the lava. There is. It's neat. I think I will probably show it to you all at some point because it's cool. Goomba stomping enemies, immensely satisfying. Why is that there? Guess we'll take it. Can we just get killed while we're grabbing this? That would be pretty funny. No, I think we're invincible. More bullets. So yeah, we're just gonna sort of make our way through this foundry, try and find some gore nests to, you know, gore. And hey, there's a soup chip in there. Maybe we'll get that at some point. And there's a neat little mechanical thing that's coming up here actually. I think it's after you destroy all of the gore nests. Something that I want to talk about that Doom does really well, but not right now. So what do heck? I hope if I ever die that I'm clubbed to death by my own arm. It's just such a cool way to go out, you know? Maybe not open casket, but like, still. Even if it was open casket, people would be like, damn, that owns. Right. Yeah, well, same. Let's gore that nest. Oof, this track is very good. There's a new one. That's with a gore in the nest.
Demonic threat reduced by 25%.
We did it. I wonder what they measure the demonic presence in. Do you reckon it's like number of hell feet on ground, or do they release like a gas? Some nice green lights to let you know what you can jump on. Nice little bit of level design there. Want to jump somewhere? Look for the green lights. Want to upgrade. Oof. Nice fan there. I like this. It's a nice cool space to take you between the very, very warm space of the foundry main hall. It's nice. I like it. It paces the like the visual level design in a neat way. We're gonna go down here. Hey, jump pads. Those are a cool and normal thing to have in a workplace. This, of course, being a video game, so convection doesn't exist. If you stand above a hot thing, it's just like you were cold. Whatever. You're fine. Huh, fun fact. Gunrun is in the chat saying that apparently this chainsaw is using the kind of blade you would use to cut a rock, which means that there's some vague reason for it to be here. I don't really know why you would choose a rock to cut, choose a chainsaw to cut rock with, but clearly the people who cut rocks know a lot more about it than me. I wouldn't trust me to cut a rock. Make use of that generous mantling animation. It feels very generous, this game. It's a good word to use, I think. Because it gives you a lot. You don't have to use all of it, but you can, and you'll have a good time when you do. That feels like something. I see, this is the way I came down originally, is it? That makes sense. I'm going back on myself now. Oops. Is that a door? Can I go through there? No. I guess I want to be up at the top level then. Having immediately come down. Let's go back up to the top, shall we? Blue key. Area lockdown. Blue key. Where is the blue key, eh? People are always talking about the blue key. I ain't never seen one. Yellow key. Don't have one of those either. Nope, not over here. Okay, what if instead of... Wait, we need the yellow key to get up there, right? So let's go over here. And we found some things to kill, which is where all the joy is to be had. When it is fun to kill things, you can use killable things as your level design. You just say, look. I mean, you know, usually if you find enemies, that's where you're meant to be going. But in Doom, you want to go there. Basically crack your knuckles to yourself and think, great, more demons to rig. Oh, bad. Because it owns. it's just so good. So chat is talking about convection's history in video games and movies, and Reths has brought up the humorous example of in Revenge of the Sith when Anakin slides down the spoilers for the end of Revenge of the Sith. Anakin, can I? Oh no, I got the yellow key. Can I? Yeah. Anakin slides down the side of that cliff on Mustafar and spontaneously bursts into flame. Okay, so just finish off that thought. That's a funny example because it uses convection sort of vaguely correctly for a movie, and everyone's like, why is that happening? Because nobody, like, you're not equipped by standard like film watching to even like expect that to happen. So when Anakin suddenly bursts into flame, nobody has any concept of the fact that like lava is so hot you will just ignite by being near it. I mean, to be fair, like for the rest of that scene they are just kind of sweating a bit, so you could say it's incongruous and probably that would be justified, but I hate this. Yeah, that was always going to happen. So yeah, that's sort of a funny example of like someone trying to do convection right in a movie and it kind of backfiring because that's not really how people understand that it works. But yeah, the appearance of this enemy is the beginning of what I think is a really fun and interesting loop that Doom does in a unique way. So can we spend some of these weapon upgrade points? No, we need to. I see we can only upgrade our mods. Ugh, whatever. This is so boring. Like. Need to find a drone. So yeah, the appearance of this chap, not this chap, that chap, is something I really like, and I'm going to talk about why while I kill it, while I try and kill it. So it like this new enemy type appears. It's bigger and it's scarier, and it it moves in exciting new ways. And the music changes to let you know that what's happening is important. You should pay attention. And you do, right? You're like, holy crap, there's a giant, what is it called, like a Hell Knight or something? You're like, holy crap, let's fight this thing. This is a new and interesting encounter. Not like an hour ago, the game was asking us to feel the same thing about imps. An enemy that appear right next to this Hell Knight that you don't even really care. And this is something that is really cool about Doom. Like, you get bored of killing demons eventually, right? So you gotta spice it up. And the encounter design of Doom is really, 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 really good at making you engage with and be interested in fighting a new enemy type, learning how the enemy type works, and then gradually integrating it into the standard combat pattern of the game until about half an hour later you're fighting them as though they were normal enemies, and that just feels normal. And I guess you could say that Doom has always done this, like even all the way back to the original Doom, the combat design has facilitated this, but I think it works in a really, really neat way in this game. Ugh. I'm stuck. Rats. What? Excuse me? So we have the yellow key, which means we can go in here. followed by another Hell Knight.
Stay committed.
Oh, stylish. So yeah, like those enemies move around this space in a really neat way because they like lunge and jump and smash so much. Like the narrow corridors, it makes them very, very threatening because they have a very they have a very readable, visual, powerful area of effect in a very tight space. It's cool.
Remember, the Blind Council is always watching.
Always watching. Very cool and normal workplace. Oh jeez. Another Hell Knight. Jeez. That's what I got. Rats. So another consequence of making it so you are incentivized to be moving all the time is that it's a game where like moving is an inherently good thing. It means that you get hit a lot less, and it means that it just means that you play the game that they want to play. Like that's the sense. Like this is something that I will basically say in 800 different ways over the course of the next few streams about this game. Is that Doom 2016 makes you play its own game really, really cleverly. It has a lot of smart and interesting development techniques that make you want to play the game they want you to play. Well, is it 4 or have I got 5 chainsaw one? One of the reasons I'm maxing ammo is not only because I don't like running out of ammo and feel like I can get a lot of health, but also it gives us chainsaw. Chainsaw is good as hell because the way that they balance out the fact that the chainsaw is an instant kill with the fact that they will have enemies they want you to be afraid of is that bigger enemies require more chainsaw fuel to deal with. So having more ammo means having more chainsaw fuel. Having more chainsaw fuel means you get more free as hell kills with the chainsaw. It means we get to see more cool chainsawing animations on even bigger and bigger enemies. Because if you thought that the Hell Knight was as big as the enemies in this game were going to get, wow, were you wrong. What up?
Demonic threat reduced by 50%.
Well, hey, it's that blue key that I've heard so much about. Oh no, fell. Didn't want to fall. Wanted to get that armor. Nope, that's not happening. Anyway, blue key 10. Hey, a gore nest. How about that? Who saw that coming? Not me.
Is the foundation to our success. With you, we will establish a new paradigm and move humanity into the future.
I wonder what they might be trying to say. I wonder what they might be getting at here.
Have you filled out your UAC? See Jessica at Human Resources for assistance. Your devotion to the UAC's mission on Mars is the foundation to our success. With you, we will establish a new paradigm and move humanity into the future.
Demonic threat reduced by 75%.
Devotion to the UAC's mission on Mars is the
It's weird.
into the future. Have you filled out your UAC accidental death and dismemberment form yet? See Jessica in Human Resources for assistance.
Hang on, what? Where haven't we been? Over there. I guess let's go over there. Right. Yeah, over there. Alright. Aha! Okay, so time for some interesting choices. So, we can either get a scope on our rifle, or we can turn the rifle into a micro-missile launcher, or with a plasma rifle, we can make it so that we shoot a stun bomb, which stuns demons within its detonation radius, or the heat blast. I'm going to do a terrible job of using the mods that I didn't use last time I played this game, because the ones I used last time are just better. So the micro-missile launcher is cool as hell, as is the heat blast. I'm going to pick the heat blast because it turns the use of the plasma rifle into a loop I really, really, really like. Fidgety Frolic, thank you so much for soldiering through this stream at a mere 160p. That's cool as hell. I like that. So yeah, the heat blast. So if we fire our plasma rifle now, see it builds up those blue notches in the center. If you're not watching it at 160p, that's probably easier to see. So the more we use it, the more that builds up, and then we can discharge it like that. And it does a heck load of damage. Usually a lot better if you're not a Hell Knight. I think the game might be trying to let us show it off. So even that half charge is pretty devastating. And the full charge is pretty good. What's this? Hand scanner. We don't have hands.
Access.
We need to get ourselves a hand.
Warning. Core temperature rising.
Oh, okay. I guess we're in here now. This game's very orange, in a cool way. I like orange. Orange is a good colour. We're on Mars, then we're in a foundry. Soon we're gonna go somewhere else that's pretty orange. Is this the one we saw earlier? It is. Nice. Oh no. Ah. Give me your hand. Another really neat thing about this game is that due to that feature that I talked about much earlier on now, where like the game will do its best to be generous with whether you made a glory kill or not. You can use it to correct jumps that you otherwise would not have made, like that one. Like I would have had to mantle there, but yeah, I did not. I just got to say, hey, you taste the knee, and they did taste the knee. Punch. There we go. We did it.
Granted.
Ugh. I see. That's just the guy that we're... Yep, whatever, we've done this. We don't need to follow this. Oh, never mind. We don't need to go this way.
Stopped.
What have we just opened? This one. And there's the gore nest. We did it. We did it. Let's have some gore, shall we? Some mileage out of this new plasma rifle, shall we?
Demonic presence reduced to minimum safe levels. Lockdown.
Easy.
Disengaged. Turbine room doors now open.
Oh, let's go back where we came. Ugh, dull. Yeah, I think I might be a convert to the triple shot. Sorry, explosive shot. Is that one of those secret levels I've heard so much about? I think I'm just not going to do that. I've decided. Whoa, whoa. Laserous explosions.
Warning. Core core temperature reaching critical levels.
Damn, I kind of want to watch the stream in 160p now. Everyone in the chat's talking about how awesome it looks. But yeah, I hope it's watchable for everyone. The video I took to see how it captured looked okay. Hopefully it looks good-ish. As we've addressed, it's only on the Paltry. Oh jeez, only on the Paltry PS4, so no 4K 60, unfortunately. Ooh. Come on. Okay. Whoop. Ah! Oh, jeez. Owned. Oop, slip. Oh, slipping. Rude. What's up? Ah, no one. Rude.
The core temperature is now stabilized.
We did it, folks. We stabilized the core temperature.
A primary control room has been activated somewhere nearby. It could be Olivia.
Old Sammy Hayden is proud of us. Thanks, Robo Dad. Love to jump. Love to jump. Get another armor chip. Don't really know what you do with these. You just like eat them. Is that what's happening? Are they just tasty treats for the Doom Marine? Ah, it is Olivia.
Authorization. Olivia Pierce.
What's up, Pound Shop Turtle Swinton?
0, 2.
She has locked me out, Dr. Hayden.
Ooh, she's got some circles.
Urgent energy test.
It's kicking off.
She is trying to tear open the portal between our world and theirs.
Why, it looks like Olivia wants to take us to hell. When are we going to get these cool glyph programming interfaces?
Could not have saved them anyway.
system won't allow anyone but Olivia to override it now. We will have to shut down the Argent Tower manually from the surface.
Ooh, and that's the end of the level. So, that brings us to just after midnight, and it's probably a good time to call the stream. So yeah, we did some interesting things today in the world of Doom 2016. We did a lot of punch. We punched some demon. We shot some demon. We talked about, I guess, like the various ways in which Doom's central mechanics work together to make the game a lot more playable, a lot more fun, a lot more dynamic. Give it some snap, you know. I hope you've enjoyed the first episode of Ripping, Tearing, and Other Activisms. I hope you'll join us next Wednesday. Not actually next Wednesday. I'm away next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after for the next episode, where we will Doom some more. I'll probably, I don't know, do some like upgrading off camera or something. And yeah, we'll do some more Doom, and we'll get a little bit more into the narrative of this game, because we've talked a little bit about the things that the game is setting up and presenting at the very beginning, but that will only, I guess, get deeper and deeper for us as we continue. But for now, thank you everyone for coming. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you everyone who talked to the chat. Thank you everyone who donated bits. A lot of bits today. I love those. Love a good bits. Thank you, Bob, for the resub, and thank you for everyone who followed as well, because I love it when people do that. It's great. It's good to have you all here for the stream. But that is it for this week from me, and until next week, until 2 weeks from now, that is it from you.